They say you don't realize you're drowning until you're already underwater. I was under for 3 years before I even knew I couldn't breathe. My name is Marcus Williams, and this is the story of how I lost myself and how I found my way back. It started in college. I was 22, fresh out of my mama's house, raised in the church, baptized at 16. I knew right from wrong. I knew what I believed. But my roommate Tyler had other plans for me. "You're in college now," he'd say. "Live a little." One party he promised, just one. That's all it took. Her name was Sierra. She was beautiful, confident, everything I thought I wanted. That night felt like freedom, like I'd finally been let out of a cage. But what I didn't realize was I was just walking into a bigger one. One night became two, two became 20. Before long, I didn't even recognize myself in the mirror. Different women, different beds, different lies I told my mother on the phone. "Yeah, Ma, I'm going to church. Yeah, Ma, everything's fine. Yeah, Ma, I'm studying." But I wasn't fine. I was drowning. My apartment became a mess. Pizza boxes stacked to the ceiling, clothes everywhere. My phone constantly buzzing with messages from women whose names I barely remembered. "Last night was fun. You up? Why aren't you answering?" I'd stare at the old family photo on my side table. Me at 16 in my church youth group shirt, smiling next to Mama and my little sister Jasmine. That boy looked so innocent, so whole. And I'd wonder, where did he go? 3 years in, reality caught up with me. I found myself sitting in a clinic waiting room, terrified, waiting for test results. When the doctor walked in, I held my breath. "You're negative," she said, "for everything." The relief was overwhelming. But then she leaned forward and said something I'll never forget. "You're very fortunate. Based on what you've told us about your activity, the odds weren't in your favor. You're playing a dangerous game, Marcus. And one day, luck runs out." I sat in my car in that parking lot for an hour. My phone rang. Mom flashed across the screen. I couldn't answer. I just couldn't. So I listened to her voicemail instead. "Baby, it's Mama. I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. I'm worried. Jasmine asks about you. We miss you at church. Pastor David asks about you too. Just call me back, okay? I love you. I'm praying for you." I broke down right there in that car because I knew she was praying for a son who didn't exist anymore. Or at least a son I'd buried under 3 years of shame. That night, Tyler found me at a bar. "We're heading to Jenna's place," he said, grinning. "You coming?" And for the first time in 3 years, I said no. Really no. He laughed, called me soft. But I didn't care anymore because something inside me had broken, or maybe finally started to heal. That night, alone in my apartment, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling for hours. And then, for the first time in 3 years, I prayed. "God, I don't even know if you're listening. I don't know if you even want to hear from me anymore. I've done everything you told me not to do. I've hurt people. I've lied. I've become someone I don't even recognize. And the worst part is, I knew better. I knew better the whole time." I was crying now, ugly, desperate tears. "I'm so tired. I'm so tired of pretending I'm okay, of running from you, of running from myself. If you're still there, if you still care about someone like me, I need help. I can't do this anymore." Sunday morning, I stood outside my mama's church. I hadn't been there in 3 years. My hands were shaking, but I walked in anyway. I slipped into the back row, hoping no one would notice me. But Pastor David was preaching about the prodigal son, the boy who left home, wasted everything, and ended up broken in a pig pen. And when he came to his senses, Pastor David said, he said, "I will arise and go to my father." I felt every word like a hammer to my chest. "And here's what breaks me every time," the pastor continued. "The father saw him while he was still a long way off. He didn't wait for the son to clean up first, didn't wait for the perfect apology. The father ran to him and brought him home." Tears were streaming down my face now. "Some of you think you've gone too far," Pastor David said, looking right at me, or maybe it just felt that way. "But I'm telling you, there is no pit so deep that God's love isn't deeper still." After the service, I stayed at the altar. I couldn't move, couldn't speak. I just knelt there, broken, sobbing. Pastor David knelt beside me and put his hand on my shoulder. Son, he said softly, whatever you're carrying, you don't have to carry it alone. That evening, I drove to my mama's house. My heart was pounding when I knocked on the door. When she opened it and saw me standing there, her eyes filled with tears. Marcus, she whispered. Hi, Mama. She pulled me into her arms and I broke down all over again. My baby, she cried. My baby's home. Inside, sitting with Mama and Jasmine, I finally told them the truth. All of it. I apologized for staying away, for lying, for becoming someone they wouldn't recognize. Mama took my hand and said, Baby, there is nothing you could ever do that would make me stop loving you. Jasmine squeezed my other hand. I missed you. I missed you too, I said. So what happens now, Mama asked. I don't know, I admitted. I just know I can't go back to how I was living. I want to do better, be better. Then we'll walk with you, Mama said, one day at a time. 1 month later, my apartment looks different, clean, organized. But more than that, I look different. I sit at my table every night now with my Bible open, writing in a journal. Day 32 reads, Still struggling some days, had to block some numbers, had to say no when everything in me wanted to say yes. But I'm learning that freedom isn't doing whatever I want. It's becoming who I was created to be. Someone once told me that repentance isn't just feeling sorry. It's turning around and walking in a different direction. I'm still walking. Some days I stumble. Some days it's hard to breathe. But I'm not walking alone anymore. I text my accountability partner, Daniel. Had a rough day, but I didn't give in. Thank you for checking on me. His response comes immediately. Proud of you, brother. That's progress. And I smile, a real smile. Maybe the first one in 3 years. Because God's mercy isn't just forgiveness, it's a second chance. A new beginning. And somehow, even after everything I did, He's still writing my story. And this time, I'm finally listening.